Hello students, welcome back to the EGDL video lecture series. Last class we discussed about basic geometry constructions under drawing number 1, where you were told how to draw various polygons in various positions. So that was under drawing number 1. As I mentioned already, it was not a part of the syllabus, but I had to do it as a prerequisite for the chapters to come. Those will be helpful to you in the chapters to come. So today's class is a very important class which forms the basis for your syllabus. The title of the topic is orthographic projection. What is orthographic? You know, orthographic means perpendicular. I will explain you in a minute what is orthographic projection in detail. But if I have to explain you what is orthographic projection, you require an object, you require an observer and a plane of projection. These are the three things required for you to understand what is an orthographic projection. What are required? An object, an observer and a plane of projection. Now let me take an object which is a rectangular prism. This is a rectangular box. Okay, this is the object I have selected for you to explain what is orthographic projection. Now what are the things that we are going to discuss? I have written down here. The first point that I am going to discuss is position of principal planes. Now what are principal planes? Imagine that you are sitting in a room. In a room you can consider this wall to be the front wall. So this is one of the planes. Let us say principal plane. Because this is vertical, I can call it as a vertical plane. Shortly it is called VP. Similarly, in a room you have ground. The ground is a horizontal plane. Shortly you can call it as a HP. Similarly, you can consider the roof also as a horizontal plane. That's also a HP. And you have the side walls of the room. For example, this side you have the right wall that can be considered as profile plane or the side plane. Similarly, on the left also you have another wall that can be also considered as a profile plane or left plane. Okay, so this is the right wall or the right side plane. This is the left wall for you, the left side plane. Roof is a horizontal plane, ground is another horizontal plane. This is the front wall which is treated as vertical plane. So shortly I am going to call this as VP. The ground is HP, roof is also HP. This is called right profile plane, RPP. Shortly I call it RPP, and the left one is called LPP, left profile plane. So all these planes are mutually perpendicular to each other and they are called as principal planes. Okay, so what are principal planes? Principal planes are nothing but VP, vertical plane, HP, horizontal plane, RPP, right profile plane, and LPP, left profile plane. They are positioned mutually perpendicular to each other and they are called principal planes. This is the first point that we are going to discuss. Okay, now before I move on to these 3 points, let me explain you what is orthographic projection. Okay, now let us say I am going to keep this in space like this. It is kept like this. Now imagine the observer is in front of the object. Okay. Now when the observer is viewing this, when the observer is at a finite distance from the object, let us say this is the eye of the observer, the rays will diverge like this from the eye of the observer. Okay. They diverge like that. This is how they travel from the eye of the observer. But in orthographic projection, the requirement is that all these rays are imagined to be parallel to each other. So in orthographic projection, these are the rays coming out of the eye of the observer. Now, when is it possible? This is possible only when the observer is imagined to be at infinite distance from the object. Okay? So that is why in orthographic projection, the observer is always imagined to be at infinite distance from the object, so that the rays coming out of the eye of the observer are imagined to be parallel to each other. Not only that, perpendicular to the plane of projection as well. Okay? So the rays coming out of the eye of the observer are imagined to be parallel to each other and perpendicular to the plane of projection. This is the requirement in orthographic projection. Okay, when that is the case, and when I position this object like this in space, and if I use VP as the plane of projection, okay, when I project this object onto vertical plane, what do you view? This is what you are going to view. It will be viewed as a rectangle like this. This is called as the orthographic projection of this object for the position of the observer. Okay, I kept it like this. I have imagined the observer to be at infinite distance. This is imagined just to make sure that the rays coming out of the eye of the observer are parallel to each other and perpendicular to this plane. So in that scenario, okay, when I draw the projections perpendicular to the board from the object, then this is how it is going to be viewed. This is called as the orthographic projection of this object. Okay. So, and also I can name this now because the observer is in front of the object. I can call it as the front view. So the orthographic projection is given a name based on the position of the observer. Because the observer is in front, I called it front view. Now, let us imagine the observer position is at the top, and let me select the ground as the plane of projection. When you project it onto horizontal plane, what do you view? You view whatever is there at the top. This is also a rectangle. This is what you are going to view when you view from the top. Okay? So, let me draw it here. This is what you are going to view, and in this case, because the observer is at the top, I call it as the top view. Okay? Now, imagine the observer has moved to the right position. So, observer is there on the right side now. Now, I am going to use the left wall for drawing the projection. So, imagine that this object is projected onto the left wall. What is that you are going to get now? This is what you will get on the wall. Whatever is this rectangle, it is going to be obtained on the left wall. Okay. Now, I am going to draw it here. This is what you are going to view. Now, in this case, the observer was on the right side of the object. When I kept it like this, the observer was on the right side and the projection is obtained on the left wall. This is called right side view. Just because the observer was on the right, I call it as the right side view. So, what you got here is three different orthographic projections on three different planes for three different positions of the object. Okay. This was obtained on the front wall, and the position of the observer was in front. That's why I call it front view. Then this was obtained on the ground on the horizontal plane when the position of the observer was imagined to be at the top. Then this was obtained on the left wall when the observer was on right side of the object. So this was obtained on the front front wall. This was obtained on the ground, horizontal plane. This was obtained on the left wall. Okay, this alignment is important. Okay, this alignment is important. Now, let me explain you. In orthographic projection, there are two methods of orthographic projection. The first one is called first angle projection. This is what we are following as per our syllabus. We are going to follow first angle projection. In fact, the whole of India is following first angle projection right now. The second method is what is called third angle projection. So some other country like UK may be following third angle projection, but in India we are following first angle projection. Let me explain you what is this first angle projection by taking these 3 points now. Now you have just now seen how the orthographic projections are obtained on 3 different planes for 3 different positions of the observer. I'll keep it in a box here. Now let me come to these points. Let me take up first angle projection and let me take the first point. First point, what is it? Position of principal planes. How did we position them in first angle projection? This was VP, the front wall. The ground was HP, horizontal plane. The right side wall was the right profile plane. The left side wall is the left profile plane. So 4 planes you have. That is how we positioned them. That is about the first point. What is the second point? This is a very important point. Relative positions of object, observer and plane of projection. That means how are they relatively positioned? We have positioned it like this. I have put it like this. I imagine the observer to be in front and this is the plane of projection for the front view. So the object is in between. The object is in between the observer and plane of projection for the front view. Similarly, for the top view, what did I do? I imagined the observer to be at the top. This is the object and this is the plane of projection. So once again, the object is coming in between. Now the third case, for getting the profile view, where did I imagine the observer to be? On the right side. Observer was there on the right. This is the object and this is the plane of projection. So the relative positions have been fixed in all the 3 cases. How did I fix the relative positions? I made sure that the object is in between the observer and the plane. So that is about the second point. What's the third point? How do you get the orthographic views? These are the orthographic views. The front view, top view, right side view, left side view. They are called orthographic views. Now, how did I get these positions like this? I have drawn the top view below the front view and I have drawn the right side view on the left side of the front view. How did you get them? This is how you get them. Imagine that this is a horizontal plane. Imagine that this is a vertical plane. Okay. So where did you get the front view? The front view was obtained on this vertical plane, and the top view was obtained on the horizontal plane. This is a 3D scenario. This 3D scenario I want to convert into 2D scenario so that I can show it on a plane of board like this or on a plane of paper. So I am going to fix the vertical plane like this and I am going to rotate the horizontal plane by 90 degrees so that both are brought into the same plane, the plane of the board. Okay. So when I rotated like this, the front view remained here only. The top view, which was on the horizontal plane, will go down the front view. Okay. That's the reason why I have drawn the top view below the front view. Understood? Similarly, where was the right side view? The right side view was there on the left wall. Okay. Let us say this wall is like this. The left wall is here and you are rotating the left wall by 90 degrees like this. When the wall is rotated by 90 degrees, where does it go? It goes to the left side. Okay. So now you have brought all the three planes into a single plane by rotation. The top view, the horizontal plane, when rotated by 90 degrees, it will go like this. Then the left wall, when rotated by 90 degrees, will go like this. So that all the three planes are brought into a single plane, the plane of the board. So the left view has occupied, the right view has occupied a position on the left. Why did I call it the right side view? Because the observer was on the right. Why did I choose the left wall for getting the projection? Why did I choose it? What is the reason? Because the object has to be in between. The object has to be in between the observer and plane of projection. That's the reason why I have selected the left side wall for drawing the right view. This is very important. So the relative positions have to be fixed for any view, front view, side view or top view. So in first angle projection, the orthographic views are obtained like this. The top view is obtained below the front view. The right side view is obtained on the left of the front view. Similarly, the left side view will be obtained on the right of the front view. So this is the method that we are following right now as per our syllabus. So from now onwards, whenever it is required for you to draw the top view of an object, it will be drawn below the front view. And if you want to draw the right side view of an object, it will be drawn on left of the front view. So this is about first angle projection. Now let me move to the third angle projection, the second one. This is third angle projection. Just now I have finished this. This is third angle projection. Once again, we will be discussing these 3 points with reference to third angle projection. Let me erase this. Okay. Now in third angle projection, how do you position the principal planes? The planes are going to remain the same, but how do you position them? There is only one change, that is the horizontal plane. The horizontal plane, in the first case we imagined it to be the ground. Now it can be imagined to be a roof. The horizontal plane is going to be the roof now for you in a room. Okay. So the front view is vertical plane VP. The roof is the horizontal plane HP. Then the right wall is RPP, right profile plane. The left wall is LPP, left profile plane. The only change that you made is the horizontal plane. Instead of ground, we are using a roof now. So the first point is done. Now coming to the second point, relative positions. How do you keep the relative positions now? In the first case, in first angle projection, the object was coming in between. But it is not the case now. In this case, the plane will come in between. The plane of projection will come in between. So, if I want to draw the front view, if I keep the object in space like this, and if this is the plane of projection, where should be the position of the observer? The observer should be beyond the wall, because the plane has to come in between. Understood? But when the observer is beyond the wall, the observer will not be able to view the object. Is it not? That is the reason why in third angle projection, the planes are assumed to be transparent. This is a very important point. Okay? Why the planes are assumed to be transparent in third angle projection? Because it comes in between the observer and plane of projection. The observer and object. That's the reason why the plane is assumed to be transparent. So, how do you get the front view? This is projected like this, so that it is obtained on the front wall. So you got the front view. Let me draw the front view here. The front view appears, the shape will remain the same. This is the front view. Now, getting the top view. The observer is imagined to be at the top, but once again I am going to use the roof as the horizontal plane now, or I am going to use this as the plane of projection to get the top view. And where is the position of the observer? On top of the roof, above the roof. So the object is projected onto the roof now. And when you imagine the roof is rotated by 90 degrees, the top view will go onto the top now. So this is where the top view comes. This is front view, this is top view. Now, getting the right side view. If you want the right side view of the object, the observer has to move to the right. And which plane are you going to use now? Are you going to use the right wall or left wall? You should use the right wall only now, because the plane has to come in between. And where is the position of the observer? On the other side of the wall. And this object is imagined to be projected, or it is projected onto the right wall itself. And when the right wall is rotated by 90 degrees, where will you get the view? On the right side itself. So this is right side wall, right side view. So these are the position of orthographic views for third angle projection. So did you find the difference between them? This is how the orthographic views are positioned. That is about the third point, position of orthographic views. So the front view is here, the front view is fixed always. The top view and right side view will change their positions depending on the method of projection that we use. In third angle projection, the top view is obtained on top of the front view, the right side view is obtained on the right itself. Why is it happening like this? It is happening because of the positioning of the orthographic planes and the relative positions. Okay? So this is about the first angle and third angle projection methods, which is very, very important. Okay? Which is very, very important. But we are not following third angle projection here. As per our syllabus, we are going to follow only first angle projection, but you should know the differences between them. Okay? Now, when you make a drawing, let us say you are sending it abroad. The person on the other side should know what method of projection you have followed. Maybe their country is following third angle projection, we are following first angle projection. Now, how do you tell to when you send your drawing, how do you, communicate that you have followed first angle projection? It is communicated by a symbol. Let me tell you about that symbol now. What is the symbol adopted, or what is the object selected for giving the symbol for the orthographic projection? The object selected is called frustum of a cone. It is called frustum of a cone. What is frustum of a cone? If you take a cone, let us say this is a cone. Imagine that the cone is cut by means of a cutting plane here. Let us say I am cutting it here. Imagine that the portion containing the apex is removed. So what is the remaining portion of the cone? This is where you are cutting it. So this is what is called as frustum of cone. This is the object selected for giving the symbol for first angle and third angle projection methods. So imagine this is a solid. Imagine that this solid is kept in space here. I am keeping it here. And let us say I want to get its front view. Can you tell me what will be the front view? This is frustum of a cone. the front view will be a trapezium. The front view will be a trapezium. Okay, so let me draw it here. This is the front view of frustum of a cone. When you imagine that it is kept here in front and imagine it is projected onto the front wall, it is obtained as a trapezium. This is the front view of the frustum of the cone. Now let me get its left side view. When you view this from the left, what do you get? Can you imagine what you get? You get two concentric circles. This is one circle and this is the other circle. So the left side view of this object will be two concentric circles. Let me draw it here. This is one circle, this is the other circle. This alignment is important. This is the smaller circle which corresponds to this width and the bigger circle corresponds to this width. What I have drawn there is the left side view or left view. Where did I draw it? I have drawn it on the right side of the front view. This is in fact front view. This is left side view. The left side view is drawn on the right. Therefore, this is the symbol for first angle projection. Okay? We normally don't write this while writing the symbol. This is the symbol for first angle projection. So once you make your drawing, this is the symbol that you normally represent at the bottom right corner. Even when you are using the software also, this symbol you will find. Okay? When you find this symbol, the other person will understand that you have followed first angle projection. If this is the symbol for first angle projection, what should be the symbol for third angle projection? If the left side view is shown on the left itself of the front view, then that becomes the symbol for first angle projection. Okay? So let me draw it. This is the front view, which is a trapezium, and this is the left view. Two concentric circles. This is the symbol for third angle projection. So this is a very important class. What is that you have learned so far? You have learned what is an orthographic projection. What are the requirements for you to understand what is orthographic projection? You require an object, an observer, and a plane of projection. You have understood what are principal planes. A vertical plane, VP, a horizontal plane, like a ground or a roof, HP. Then profile planes, right profile plane, left profile plane. VP, HP, LPP, RPP. They are called as principal planes. Then I have explained what is first angle projection. In first angle projection, we have discussed 3 points. The first point was position of orthographic planes. Second point was relative positions of object, observer, and plane of projection. And the third point was position of orthographic views. Those 3 points were discussed. And what you have seen is the top view comes below the front view in first angle projection. Similarly, the right side view will come on the left side of the front view. That's what you have seen. Moving on to third angle projection, I changed only one plane, that is horizontal plane. Instead of a ground, I consider it to be on the top, on roof. What was important in third angle projection was The planes are assumed to be transparent in third angle projection because it comes in between. If the object is here, the observer is on the other side and the plane is in between. Because the plane is in between, it had to be imagined to be transparent. And when you draw the orthographic views, how do you get them? The top view comes on top of the front view, the right side view comes on the right, the left side view comes on the left. And then I had explained you what is the symbol used for first angle and third angle projection methods. What was the object selected for getting the symbol? It is called as frustum of a cone. It is called frustum, F-R-U-S-T-U-M, frustum of a cone. I had shown you how a frustum of a cone appears. And then I had given you the symbol. This is how the symbol appears for first angle projection. This is the front view of the frustum of the cone. This is the left view. The left side view is down on the right. That's why it becomes the symbol for first angle projection. Similarly, the left view is down on the left only here. That becomes the symbol for third angle projection. So that's it, students, about introduction to orthographic projection, first angle projection and third angle projections. In my next video, I'll be starting with projection of points. So when I move to projection of points, the object is going to be a point there. Here I had shown you a 3D object. So these objects we'll be discussing in projection of solids. Okay. When I move to next video, we'll be discussing about points. So the object will be just a point. Okay. So see you again in the next video.